Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. And as you see there in the title of this video, today we're going to be spraying some Raptor liner on this 2003 M1123 Humvee that's here behind me. Now, I don't want this to be a complete how-to video of how to spray the Raptor. Today we're going to be talking about a couple of different things. One, the company Veloci Tint. And two, we're going to be showing you some different techniques to achieve different patterns while using the Raptor liner, mainly using a HVLP gun. So we'll talk about that here in just a minute. But first, let me show you the Humvee here and what we're working with right now. So again, this is a 2003 M1123 from the Marine Corps, I do believe. And as you can see here, it still had its original paint on it. Now this paint is actually called a CARC, chemical agent resistant coating. So we've sanded it down the best we could. Spent a lot of time, all the little nooks and crannies and around the rivets and around the little creases and crevices, and a lot of sanding. Again, we spared you the boredom of doing all of that sanding. But the main tub here is aluminum. Of course, our hood is fiberglass. We have it over in our other shop. So you can see here, we've got the sanded original paint. We have some bare metal pieces. We put a divider in there separating the bed from the passenger compartment. There's a couple of other bare aluminum spots there as well. So as if any other paint job, it's all in the prep. And so again, sanding is key. And then as you can see here, we've got everything taped up that we don't want to get that Raptor liner on right now. So we're going to be using the tintable Raptor liner, and we're going to be doing this one in a gray. So we actually sprayed a couple of parts last week. We sprayed our doors, the bottom side of the hood, and a couple of other pieces as well. So let me show you those, and I'll show you the effect that we're after on the entire Humvee. So again, these are our aluminum hard half doors that we made here in the shop for this Humvee. And again, this is the color that we're going to be using. It's actually called cement gray. And I'm going to try to zoom in here and let you see the actual texture. Hopefully you can see that pick up there on the camera. It's a really fine texture. It's not your normal texture that you would see out of a traditional bed liner. So again, we sprayed this through a HVLP gun with a 2.5 tip, and I'll show you that here in just a moment. Now again, these were sprayed a couple last week, so you can see a little dust and stuff that's kind of sitting there on top of it. But again, I'm just trying to get it to where you can kind of see the texture. It's really smooth, and it doesn't have that grippy feeling that you would normally have with a bed liner. So here's what we're going to be using. Again, a tintable Raptor liner. We've actually got 8 bottles here, which is a 2 4-liter kits. And again, each kit comes with the 4 bottles, the 1 bottle of hardener, and a disposable shoot style gun. So again, tintable liner. We've sprayed a ton of the tintable Raptor liner here in our shop on hot rods and customs, even on our Bronco here. There we did all the underside, all of the inside floorboards are all covered in Raptor that's tintable and matches the exterior paint. One of the issues that we always have by doing that is getting a consistent color when we're spraying the Raptor liner. So this company here, Veloci Tint, and again, you can find them. I think they have a website, and you can find them on eBay and Amazon. They sell and developed a series of colors that they package up in individual packages. So 1 pouch of this tint will color 1 bottle of Raptor liner. So again, 1 bottle of pouch, or 1 pouch of tint, 1 bottle of Raptor liner. You pour this in there. It's measured out. Each one of them is the same. You literally pour it in. You put your activator on top of that, and you shake it up, and you're good to go. Normally, if you were spraying that through the Schultz gun, you'd put your gun there, and you're ready to go. Now, again, we're spraying this through a 2.5 HVLP gun. You can pick these up anywhere: Amazon, eBay, maybe even your local auto body supply store. So we're going to reduce that. Once we have it mixed and activated, we're going to reduce it about 15% just to get the texture that we want. And again, Veloci Tint here, they offer literally like 170 different colors of tint. So what we did is we ordered the entire color chip catalog, I guess you would say, from Veloci Tint that they sent us. Now you can buy individual color chips if you're interested in doing that. So if you think you're going to lay in more toward the gray color, since we're dead gray, you could go in and buy, let's just say 5 or 6 individual color chips that they'll send you, and then you can look at them in different lighting and actually see what actual color that you would want. Now these are pretty neat. They're just a little 3D printed card, and then they spray them with their product. And again, you can see all the different colors there. Each one a little bit different. And again, I recommend you to do that because I had a couple of colors in mind when I started picking this out, and once we got them all in, the color we chose is not one that I would have normally chose or thought that I would have chosen it as. So again, you can see there a wide array of colors, some blues, purples, greens, reds, grays, browns, blacks, whites. They've got them all. So if you've got a color in mind that you're thinking about doing, look at Veloci Tint. This is a pretty interesting setup here that they've got. So again, we're getting ready to spray the Raptor liner, but before we do that, there's a couple of things we're going to need, namely some epoxy primer. We want to go back in and coat any of our bare aluminum parts and pieces that we have, and we want to just do a really light dust coat over the entire body if we have enough there to do that with, just to kind of give it a little bit extra adhesion. So we just went with, I think you can pick this up from TCP Global. Again, I'll leave links in the description of the video. This is just a restoration shop, just a basic epoxy primer. Again, you're going to need some PPE, so a respirator, and we also have some gloves, and you're going to need a tack rag. We want a really nice dry, lint-free surface to spray on top of. Now, since we're going to be reducing this product a little bit, you're going to need a couple of mixing cups as well. So we've got a couple of mixing cups there, one for our epoxy, and then 2 we're going to be using for our Raptor liner. And to reduce it, you can use any automotive grade urethane reducer. Now, this is some that we have left over from another job. You can literally use any urethane reducer that you have. You can pick that up in any of like your part stores. Again, go to if you don't have any part store around, go to an old body shop. Body shops usually have extra reducers and stuff on hand that they would sell you. So think of that as an option if you can't find any other reducer there to reduce that with. Guys, I'm not trying to do a how-to video here on how to do it, but I do want to show you how you can achieve some different textures using the HVLP gun, and even changing your air pressure and the distance at which you're spraying the product through. And you can also do that same thing through the actual shoots gun here as well. And we're going to kind of do both of those here in this video, and I'll show you that here in just a moment. So as you can see there, we do have our epoxy primer sprayed. Now again, this is just a super light, thin coat of epoxy primer, just to pretty much lock down that old coating that's on there and to help give us a little bit better adhesion for our Raptor liner. So we went over everything there that we've got prepped and got that, and it's been about 20 minutes. So what we're going to do, you want to go ahead and follow your manufacturer's recommendations as far as top coat times. With ours, we pretty much can do a wet on wet, but being as this is a super thin coat of epoxy, it's literally almost pretty much dry to the touch already. So we know we're good to go ahead and put our top coat on, which will be our Raptor liner. So we're going to go ahead and mix up our Raptor liner here. What you want to do is you want to go ahead, open up one of the cans of Raptor. Now they've kind of redesigned their can a little bit, so it has a pull tab, and even inside that pull tab there's a metal, little kind of a tinfoil type pack in there that needs to come out. So we'll get that pulled out of the way. So now that we've got that opened up. So now what we're going to do is just to tint this, we're simply going to take one package of our Veloci Tint tint. Now this is cement gray. You want to go ahead and kind of mix that up a little bit there in the pouch. Almost like what you would a Bondo hardener or a body filler hardener. Just kind of mix it up there just a little bit in the pouch just to make sure that it's good to go. I like to shake it there just a little bit. And we're going to simply just open that up and pour the contents of one pouch into one bottle of the tintable Raptor liner. I'm going to squeeze all of that out there. So again, each pouch is carefully measured out for proportion wise for one bottle. So then we're going to take our hardener for our Raptor. They send these little measuring cups here and they give you a mark there. It's 8 ounces hardener per bottle. So we're just going to simply fill the hardener up to that line. Super simple, like that. Now on this, there's a little spout, as you can see here on the cup. The slower, the better. If you try to pour that too fast, you'll actually end up making a little bit of a mess. So just slow and steady wins the race. And then with the 8 ounces of hardener, I think this is 2 ounces of 2 ounces of color, and in that bottle that makes a complete 32 ounces of sprayable material. So now we have our hardener, our tint, and our material. Simply shake that up for a couple of minutes, get it all mixed up really well. So now that we've had that shaken up here just for a few minutes, now we could technically go ahead and spray this just like it is. And if we were using the traditional bed liner gun that comes with a kit, we could do just that. But as I mentioned before, I want to spray this through the HVLP gun, and I want to reduce it just a little bit. So half of 32 ounces would be 16 ounces. So I've got 2 cups here, and we're going to measure out 16 ounces in each cup. And you can see there how well that mixed up. And I'll have a consistent color with each bottle with this Veloci Tint. So it's a really, really nice product. I really like the idea there behind that. So again, equal those out, 16 ounces in each cup. Try to get all of that out of there that we can. Now what I really like about this color is that you may not have been able to pick it up on camera, but it has just a little bit of a pearl or a metallic look to it, which is really, really neat. I like that. So now that we have those poured up, we're simply going to take our automotive urethane reducer, and I'm going to add, I've got almost probably 17 ounces in here by the time that actually poured up. So I'm going to add up to 20 ounces of reducer, which is not a lot. Just a little there and a little here. Now you only want to mix up one bottle of this at a time. Once you activate it with the hardener, you have about 60-minute pot life. So you don't want to mix up, 2 or 3 bottles of this at a time, because you really won't be able to get it all sprayed in time before it starts hardening up. So now with that reducer in there, we're going to take that and stir that up really well. And then we'll be ready to go straight to our HVLP gun. Now again, this is a 2.5 tip on our HVLP gun. You can spray this through a 1.8, possibly even a 1.7, and you could still kind of get the same effect. Again, you can play with your air pressure. You can play with your the pattern of the gun, the amount of material that is coming out of the gun to really achieve different textures. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this. I recommend get you an old piece of cardboard. If you've got, you know, some masking paper from where you was taping up your project, like on a window or a area like that, kind of spray a test area there and just double check and make sure that you get your pattern the way that you want it before you go back in and do the complete vehicle. So as you can see there, it's still pretty thick product. I would say it's almost comparable to, say, a really thick high build primer is kind of the consistency of what we're looking like there. So we're going to go ahead and pour up some product here into our gun. I'm just going to do 1 cup at a time. Again, that's about 20 ounces of sprayable product there that we're going to be spraying. Now we're ready to spray. So now we're ready to go ahead and start spraying our vehicle here. Now I know from my previous parts that we painted on here, I'm going to spray this first coat at about a 60 psi, and we're not looking for full coverage, a really hard, heavy, wet coat on this first coat. It's almost just like any other painting. You want to get a good, nice, even, uniform coat on here to get the cover on there, but you're not looking to really build a lot of material up. So again, I'm at 60 psi. And I'm going to be spraying probably around 12 to 13 inches away from the panel. I'm going to move pretty quick. Again, this is a 2.5 tip. I've got a fluid needle probably all the way open. And then my fan pattern is, again, just a good medium fan. I'll show you here on this right here where this wheel would be. So that's about where I'm going to be spraying at. Again, I'm going to move pretty quick. Just to get a good coverage on here, and then we'll come back with a second coat once this kind of flashes off. So there we go. We have our first coat on everything here on the main tub. As you can see here, we've got some smaller pieces as well. And then keep in mind, I've got some more parts in another part of the shop here that we've sprayed as well. So again, this was the reduced Raptor liner sprayed through the HVLP gun at a 2.5 tip at about 60 psi. And hopefully there you can see the texture. Now it's been about an hour since we first started spraying. As you can see here, it's pretty much already dry to the touch. So what I want to do now is, this is not completely covered. If you really get in here looking at it, it's probably really hard to pick up on camera, but there is a couple of little light spots here that we'll go back in. We're going to put a second coat on everything here. There's also a little bit of streaking there. I don't know if you can kind of pick that up there in the camera as well. So we're going to take care of all of that in our second coat. What we was really doing on this one is, again, just a kind of a light coat, getting everything covered in more of a uniform color. So what I want to do next is, again, since we're playing with some textures, I want to take and mix up a regular bottle of the tinted liner unreduced, and I'm going to spray it through the Schutz gun that comes with the Raptor liner kit, and we're going to spray the inside of our bed area here, and we're going to go over to the next shop and spray the back side of the tailgate, and then we have the inner fender pieces over there as well that we're going to spray, and I want that heavier texture on that, because again, we're going to use this bed, so we want a little bit heavier texture back here. Now, there's a couple of ways you could do it. I could go back in, and I may still do that. I may tape this off up here at the top edges. I don't really want the heavy texture up here on our top surfaces. I really just want to keep it from this line down and then keep it contained to inside the bed here as well. So I think what I'm going to do here really quick is I'm going to get some painter's tape. So it's a lower tack painter's tape, not normally what we would use to mask up a car. This is more like what you would use to tape off something to paint inside your house. And we're going to paint and put just a little fine line right through here and take some masking paper and mask this up really quick just to kind of keep that texture off of that top edge. Now, okay, so now we have that taped up. We've got another bottle of the Raptor liner here. This is just the tinted and activated. We did not reduce it. And as you can see here, we've got the gun that comes with the kit hooked up here. So we're going to spray our heavier texture here inside the bed. We're going to stay away about, again, 12 to 14 inches thereabouts. I'm going to adjust my pressure a little bit as I spray to get the pattern the way that I want it and my texture the way that I want it. And again, you can play with this as you're spraying it, so feel free to kind of play around and play with different textures, coming further back, lowering the air pressure if you want a more chunky feeling texture. I still want to keep a finer texture. I just want it a little heavier than what we've got here right now. And so keep in mind too, so we started out with 8 bottles. It took 2 bottles to get to this point here where we're at. This is my 3rd bottle here on the body. Again, we have some other parts over there in the other shop. I'll show you those here just as soon as we get done with this. We've used 1 bottle over there on that, so that's the top of the hood, the inner fenders, and some other odd and end trim pieces. So we're going to go ahead and start spraying this. Again, I've got my mask off right now just so I can talk to you. We're going to go ahead and start spraying. I'm about 60 PSI there, which is about where I want to go. And again, you can see I'm about 12 to 14 inches away. So doing this really helps with the first coat being our coverage coat. So this is just basically adding our texture that we want. You will notice too, with the heavier texture, it will kind of change the look of the color a little bit. It'll actually give it a little bit darker of an effect when you're looking at it, just because of the way the light bounces off of all of this spatter. Just trying to keep a good, nice, even, uniform coat all the way through. Now, I have noticed by doing this with a heavier texture, you typically use a little bit more material doing that away. That's why we wanted to go ahead with our first coat and just get a good coverage coat on everything. You can spray this as heavy as you would like, or as light. You can always go back in and put another coat if you want to build up the film thickness. And that's about what we're looking for there. I should have just enough in this bottle here, hopefully, where I can go in and spray the back side of my tailgate. So I'll take the camera over there and I'll show you what we're looking like there. So here we are in our paint booth, and again we've got the backside of our tailgate sprayed with the heavy texture, as you can see there. Now we have our first coat on the top side of our hood, and then we have some hood windshield retainer pieces over here that we've sprayed. And then we have our inner fenders here. Those are plastic. And again, everything in here we prepped the same way. We sanded it, we put a epoxy on it, and then we come back in and now we're doing our second coat of undercoat on these. Now this is the heavier texture here on these pieces, and they are done. Again, we've done both sides of those, and then the back side of our tailgate. So we did get into a second bottle here to get everything covered on our tailgate and our pieces here. But being as it's unreduced, all I've got to do now is just pour that up. I can put a little reducer in it and I can go in and spray my second coat on everything else on the body. So again there, we're through with the bed, and then you can kind of tell here the difference in the texture just so far between the top of the bed and then back here at the back where we had our tape. Again, it looks a little bit darker, which is to be expected because of the way the light is going to bounce off of that heavier texture. Now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and spray our second coat of undercoat here on the main body, and then we'll just kind of skip over the bed because it's already done. So we've just got to focus on the exterior pieces here, all of our trim pieces, and some of our interior pieces here that's on our table. So again, I told you a while ago, we already had gotten into that second bottle to do our heavy texture. So I'm just going to go ahead, pour out what I've got left, add a little reducer, put it in my spray gun, and we're gonna go back in and we'll put our second coat on. Okay, so here on our second coat, this is gonna be our last and final coat. So this is where we really wanna pay attention to make sure everything's covered, make sure we don't have any of those stripes or lines, what we call tiger stripes in the business. We don't want any of that. We want a good, nice, uniform coat. Now what I'm gonna do to achieve the texture that I want, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do another light coat at my original 60 PSI. Then you're gonna see me, I'm gonna turn down that air pressure to a 40 PSI. So dropping at 20 pounds is gonna give it a little bit heavier droplet size. So when I've already got a wet bed of that material there, when I come back over with that 40 PSI and that heavier droplet, it's just gonna kinda give it the really nice texture that I'm looking for. So that's what we're going to do spraying. So if you see me adjusting my air pressure there a little bit, that's what's going on. And then once I get this sprayed, I'm going to go ahead and I'll show you what the finished results will be. The 60 PSI. we have it all painted up, and you can see here we've started some of the reassembly, and this is what I really wanted to see. I was really anxious about this, just to see the color difference, if there is any, and honestly, very absolutely zero color difference from our doors here, which was painted at least a week ago, and versus the body that we just painted just a couple of days ago. You can see out here the color on this one. Another one of the things that I really wanted to show you is here you can see I have that color laid out. Hopefully you can see that. I would say that's a pretty good win there. I'll take that and lay this up here. This again, the difference between the heavier texture versus the finer texture. Again, this is the direct sunlight, so the color again pretty well balanced. All in all, after doing the first time using it, really super impressed. Love the usability of using one per container per bottle of the Raptor, and color match. Like I said, if you're spraying it at different times, you're not going to notice a difference whatsoever. So again, we still got to go back in. We're going to do all of the inside of the Humvee here in black. So we'll do that at another time. But again, I just kind of wanted to be able to put this together a little bit and just kind of see what it was going to look like if there was any color difference whatsoever. And I'm going to say that's a total win, no color difference whatsoever. Guys, hope you learned something there. Humvee's turning out great. Again, we're going to leave all the descriptions for all the products that we used in the description of the video. If you're interested in anything, any questions, any comments, please leave those down below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.